Minesha here, and I am super excited to be able to share with you in our very first I Am Free Work-Life Harmony podcast. Woo! Are y'all ready? Are you ready to really dive deep in some exciting topics on what does it mean to truly live and lead differently? I am so sick and tired of society trying to force feed us this work-life balance. It doesn't exist. It's a fallacy. So let's get balance out of our vocabulary, shall we? And let me explain to you the difference between balance and harmony, right? And so that way we can truly live and lead differently. Trying to appease to this balanced scenario is causing us to have chronic burnout. It's causing us to feel like a failure. It's causing us to reach for a target that keeps moving, right? There's nothing more stressful and frustrating than trying to hit a moving target. All right, so we're getting ready to have some fun today. I want you to come away with our time knowing exactly what to expect from our podcast. I want everybody that's listening to get really clear right in the beginning to know if this is a good fit or it's not, right? So I don't want to waste your time. So let's go ahead and take care of that housekeeping right now. This podcast is perfect for you if you are a working mom, wife, or maybe you're single and you're a woman who really wants to live an extraordinary life. You know that there's more and you're not settling for mediocrity, right? You have a desire to be the best version of yourself, right? You love your family. So you're what I call a family centered leader. This information is going to be right up your alley. And maybe you feel like, you know what, you have some big dreams and some big goals ahead, but it just seems sometimes like there's just so many demands on your schedule. And you really want to be able to do these things, but you don't have the luxury to do what the productivity gurus say and say, just do less. No, I don't have the luxury. God is giving you the skills, gifts, and talents to do so much more. So in this podcast, I'm going to show you how you can do more with less, right? So you can have it all. You may not be able to have it all at the same time, but if you blend it just right in this harmonious flow, you can experience life differently. You can experience life in a way that gives you true peace and fulfillment. If this sounds good to you, you're in the right spot. Now, for those of you who secretly get some validation from being this superwoman who was all things to all people, this space is not for you. If you just want to complain and make excuses about how you have to be here and there and everywhere, but you are not willing to commit to the process of what it takes to truly achieve complete freedom, this is not for you. You can go ahead and log off the podcast. I don't want to waste any more of your time. This is for people who are serious about leadership. All right. So if you are here with me still, that means we're getting ready to get into some juicy business. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I am a mother of 6. That's right. 1 adult child. And I have 5 little ones that live in the home with me. And I absolutely love my role as a mother. But above that, I also am a wife. I am remarried, I shall say. I was married for 11 years. And then I got wiser and I got married again, been married for 2 years with my amazing supportive husband. Right. And then I have an adult daughter who is in Atlanta and has children and grandchildren of her own. So I'm a great grandmother, y'all. Can y'all believe that? And I'm enjoying every piece of life. I get a sincere passion of teaching people my signature work-life harmony. Now, let me tell you how this whole thing came about. I am a recovering workaholic. All right. Is there anybody listening to me right now who has also experienced workaholism? It is a real thing. Now, I don't think it's anything wrong with having passion for your work. Don't get me wrong. It's nothing wrong with that. The problem is when you prioritize your work over the things that matter most. I grew up seeing my mom and my dad doing that. My mom's dream was a child care center. She was in child care for 32 years. I watched my mom's dream turn into a drug. We used to sit at the table for family dinners, and it went from eating on the go. We used to go family vacations and travel, and then it went from maybe next year into next year, and then doing, little things here and there. But the whole focus of our family was building my mother's dream. And although we did make amazing memories along the way, and I learned a lot about work ethic and entrepreneurship, a gift that I will cherish forever, the reality is my parents did exactly what so many other parents do all around the globe. And that is they build their successful business on the back of their self care and on the backs of their families, the ones they love the most. The reason why they do all that they do anyway, right? This is why I call this the biggest deception, right? This is the biggest deception because we are doing this for the same ones who we are compromising. So enough is enough. If you are listening today, that means that you're looking for a new way. I have cracked the code, y'all. I've cracked the code, and it started with me being a workaholic, working at literally 40 hours plus an additional 45 hours a week in my charitable organization. Now, I used to think and get so much praise from the community, from my church community, from everywhere. You are just awesome. We love the work you're doing, the impact you're doing. And I had no clue that it was not pleasing in the eyesight of God. It wasn't until my 10th year anniversary, y'all. And I'll never forget, I was at the awards ceremony, getting the awards because the mayor was going to be at the anniversary production. And I left my daughter at school, y'all. Can you believe that? I could not believe it. I literally forgot her at school. Now the buses didn't leave yet, right? So she was in the principal's office just waiting with her big brown eyes, and she had this big old book bag, as big as her. And I remember when I was rushing and running in the front office, she looked at me and I said, "Oh my God, baby girl, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Mommy is so sorry." And she says, "It's okay, mommy." I said, "No." In that moment, I knew that it was not okay. That was the final straw for me. I had to do something differently. And there was no one around me that I could use as a mental model. It was known that if you were busy, you had something big going on. If you were too busy to stop and have a conversation, if you were too busy to sit at the table with dinner, then you were successful. I wanted to cancel that lie. I wanted to create a new normal, right? A normal where leaders have time for self-care, where they are making that a priority. A normal where leaders are meaningfully involving their family, right? And allowing themselves to have rest, right? And so how do we create this infrastructure? And that is what I have created with this 3-step system, is it's an infrastructure to undergird leaders like you. So you don't have to depend on a calendar or another app to try to organize your whole life. You need a system. And so what I'm going to be doing is telling you about my 3 simple steps, the work-life harmony system. Are you ready? Are you ready to dive into this? Let's go deep into this and let's talk about it. Because as we continue to do these podcasts, you're going to see this system inner working. And all the guests that we bring on that are doing life, and living and leading life, you get to see the system maneuvering through, and you'll be able to eventually identify the system at work. And the goal is for you to not watch from the sidelines and listen from the sidelines, for you to dive right in, put your sleeves in, and begin to implement the things that we are talking today, so that you do not drive yourself to chronic burnout doing what you feel the Lord said for you to do, right? That is exactly the opposite of what we want. We do not want to lose our soul for the sake of pursuing our kingdom calling, right? We want to be able to do it in a peace-driven way, right? So I'll talk to you a little bit about all these different terminology. This is a whole universe, y'all. I call it my stressless universe when you are living and leading differently. I'm so excited to be able to reveal to you all these principles that I have been able to learn along the way. I'm so excited to be able to do life with you. You are not alone anymore, right? You have someone who understands. I have been there and am there, right? I tell people all the time, I'm not exempt from a chaotic lifestyle. I just know that when life hits, when life lifes, like people say, when life is lifing, I have a toolbox, right? I have my work life harmony toolbox, and I just know what tools to pull out and what to do when. That's the biggest difference. If you are equipped with the things that you need, you will no longer have to stay in a constant cycle of stress and overwhelm, right? And frustration, and that causes you to burn out, right? Because once you're burnt out, you're not good for anyone, right? And that's not what we want. All right, so let's jump into this three-step system, shall we? Now, the first step of the three steps to the I Am Free Work Life Harmony system is be boundaries. Do you have proper boundaries in your life? I want you to think about any problem that's causing you frustration. And right now, in this moment, we're going to go to the core of the issue by unveiling these three steps. Boundaries. Where are your boundaries? Most people think that boundaries are just what you say yes to and what you say no to. No, it goes way deeper than that. That's like basic elementary level, right? You're an extraordinary leader. It's time for you to elevate to a higher thought. What if you designed your boundaries around your calling, right? If you understood and had a clear vision of your calling, how much easier would it be for you to create a parameter around that? And another thing that people really don't realize is that as you elevate season to season, boundaries change. It's just like your iPhone, right? You're constantly getting that upgrade. It seems like every year there's another upgrade, right? And so with the upgrade comes a new system, a new infrastructure, new features that allows you to be able to operate at that level. So you're elevating. Maybe you got a new promotion. Maybe your business is doing more revenue than it did the year before. Whatever is happening in your life, maybe your children are now homeschooled. Whatever dynamic is changing, your boundaries are going to have to shift as well. Too often, we have backdated boundaries for new seasons, right? Now, the next thing is O, organization. Are you exceptionally organized? And I say exceptionally for a reason because I know we have some extraordinary leaders who are organized, maybe a little OCD, right? But nonetheless, if you're going to experience true leadership at the dynamic that you're called to, if you want the capacity to really do what God has called you to do, then you cannot settle for mediocre organization. You have to have organization in multiple areas. So in the I Am Free Work Life Harmony system, we break that organization down by dimensions, right? There's mental organization, there's digital organization. That's a whole nother thing. There's physical organization, which a lot of you all are accustomed to. There's emotional organization, right? So are you organized? How are your thoughts being organized? How are they being flushed out? Right? Emotionally, how are you holding? Are you processing through those feelings? Or are you waiting till they turn into emotion, right? And cause you to shift outside of your destiny path? Where are you in your organization, right? Because it's sending a message. Do you keep certain parts of your house, like the front room and the parts people can see clean, but when we go back into your closet, it's a complete, like a complete hurricane that went off in there? Let's be honest. Listen, let me tell you, this is the disclaimer. The podcast, this, you have to be like, listen, vulnerable, transparent. This is real conversations. Because when you go into your closet, I want you to stand there today. This is your homework. Go into your closet, stand in the middle, and just look around. It's speaking to you. There's a message in your closet. Do you have old clothes that are outdated, right? That are there? You have shoes you can't fit anymore, still trying to walk into places that have already expired. What is happening? Because there's messages all around you. Are you listening? Next is SS, sustainable systems. Majority of people that have frustrations, majority of leaders that are leading leaders and have big vision, the problem is they don't have the sustainable systems to properly undergird them, right? And so what ends up happening is that they collapse every single time. And then the other issue is if you're using a system that just doesn't work for you. Systems are like nice shoes, ladies. You can see one and she may look good on her, but you can put it on and it's too small for you. You got to get your size. And so that is what I helped women to do, is to find that soulmate system for you. Because if it doesn't fit right, you're not going to implement it. And if you're not going to implement it, it's not going to be effective, right? And if you don't have effectiveness, you don't have efficiency. And then if you don't have efficiency, what are you doing? You're spinning your wheels. And this is how the effort is burning and the energy is seeping out every day. And you're asking yourself, we don't have enough time in the day. I'm tired. This is where this is coming from. It's time to create a sustainable system. So that's BOSS. Are you ready to boss up during our time together with this podcast? Are you ready to elevate? Because with this simple 3-step system, it literally has the power to ignite you to your next level of leadership. I am honored, absolutely honored, to embark on this journey with you. If anything that I have said today is resonating with your spirit, if you know that you have stopped at the right place at the right time, that I want you to subscribe right now. Go ahead, stop doing what you're doing, click the subscribe button, and make sure that you see the notifications so that you can always get the podcast when they come. I'm coming regular, y'all. I'm going to be firing out with truth, honesty, principles, right? Little wisdom nuggets. We're going to laugh. We may shed a little tear every now and then. But at the end of the day, we are going to transform. Now, as we close our session for today, I want to let you know that work-life harmony is not something you find. Balance, you definitely not going to find it. So stop there now. But harmony, you can't find it. Work-life harmony is something you create. And this is your moment to create it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to connecting with each of you all on our next podcast. Bye-bye for now.